Hey guys, how's it going? Twiggs here. So we're going to be checking out this video where DaWei appeared. And for you guys that don't know, DaWei is the CEO of Hoyoverse. He's the guy that pretty much is over Genshin Impact, Honkai Impact 3rd, Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero. He is the guy that is over pretty much all this stuff. So with all that being said, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Hitting that like button helps get the video out there. Hitting that subscribe button helps us grow a community over here, helps us grow the channel. And now with that being said, let's jump into this.
然后其实我想跟大家说的话，在我们前瞻的最后，我已经都讲完了。在
Okay, so this is the part where you definitely show some emotion. I saw clips of this. Alright, I don't know exactly where this is going to go. I just know like I said, the clip notes that he talks about as a reaction to the criticism of Genshin Impact. But when it comes to this emotion and looking how Genshin Impact and what it's become today, at this present moment that is, so much time has gone by where Genshin Impact has just grown stale. And I do believe that it's come from a place of complacency due to them just wanting to ride on the success of how popular Genshin Impact became, due to how great it was at launch. There's no doubt about it. It was a great game at launch, but there was a failure of innovation. There was a failure to constantly want to improve and optimize. And that's what caused Genshin Impact to become stale, and that's what created the vibe of complacency. And now, after 4-ish years, now they're innovating. Now they're optimizing. Now they're improving. And you got to ask, I mean, it's a fair question to ask. Why did it take so long? And the only plausible answer is now they're in a place where they have competition from Wuthering Waves, from themselves when it comes to Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. And there's other potentially good gacha games coming down the pipeline with Blue Protocol, Azure Premilia, other gacha games. I think it's called Azure Premilia. You can correct me in the comments down below. But there are other gacha games coming down the pipeline that are going to potentially give Genshin Impact more competition. And so that's what I'm saying here are these changes only coming because now they have to compete? Now they can't be complacent. And that creates a bad perception because it's like, wow, you finally do what we wanted you to do all along, only because now you have to try. And so when I see DaWei getting this emotional, I'm asking myself, is this genuine? I personally believe that DaWei is passionate because he always brings enthusiasm and a pep in his step when it comes to all these live streams that he appears in with Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, with Genshin Impacts. I see enthusiasm, but what happened there? Did he just ride on the complacency and was only enthusiastic about just making these projects happen?
过去的这一年，其实不管是原神项目组，还是我，其实都经历过焦虑和迷茫。因为我们确确实实感觉经历了很多特别艰难的时刻，我们确实听到了很多的声音，有的声音特别的尖锐，然后把我们整个原神和原神项目组都贬得一无是处。还有很多人说，觉得我们项目组非常傲慢，提 听不进大家的声音。但就像鸡哥讲的，其实我们跟大家一样，我们也是玩家，大家感受到的事情，我们也在感受。只是对于我们来讲呢，我们听到的声音实在是太多了，我们需要沉下心来，去弄清楚到底哪些是来自各位旅行者真实的声音。所以在今年年初的时候，在我们整个项目组和我都特别迷茫的时候，我们决定回到最初的地方。我们在2019年开始原神这个项目的时候，也曾经历过这样的很难的时刻。是什么支撑我们走到现在呢？是在场和不在场的所有的旅行者，有很多旅行者在一开始就去支持我们。我们也是因为听了很多大家的声音，才走到了今天。所以在今年年初的时候，在我们不知道未来应该怎么走的时候，我跟项目组的所有同学决定开始去走向我们最亲爱的全球的旅行者。
Okay, so what he's saying here is that when they started work this year for what they were planning later on, I'm assuming with Natlin, they wanted to actually start listening to player voices. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. But again, why did it take you till now? Why didn't you listen to your player base during Sumeru, when the criticism was at its peak of wanting improvements for Genshin Impact? And then when you guys were part of the GameSpot article during that time, during the Sumeru time, you guys were basically saying that we don't intend on listening to player feedback. Now, they didn't exactly say that, but that was pretty much how they responded. They said that they weren't going to optimize or improve anything with Geo. They weren't going to improve rewards. They weren't going to add more endgame. They weren't going to do any updates or improvements on characters that just completely suck ass. And now, with Natlin, they're improving rewards. They added the Imaginarium Theater, which was, in all fairness, it is new endgame. We'll have to wait and see if they plan on improving elements like Geo or updating characters. I'm gonna wait to see that, because I don't think that's gonna happen. But hell, they're trying to turn over a new leaf, so to their credit, that's good. But again, the question is, why did it take now? And based on perception, it's because of competition.
这一辈子都没有去过的一些城市，有中国的，也有全球的。我们去跟很多的旅行者，我听了很多这样的声音，感受到大家对原神的热爱，也感受到大家经历了很多的痛点，和大家今天为什么觉得，甚至有的同学已经很久没有再来过提瓦特道路了。所以我听了他们的声音，我们一个一个听过去之后。这些旅行者的声音给了我们很大的鼓舞啊！所以回来之后，我跟整个项目组我们开了很多的会，一轮的会开下去，最后我们达成一个共识，只要对于原神来讲
，one thing that's kind of bothering me, and I know that in this speech he's having, he's probably not wanting to go too long. I understand. You don't want your speech to become a yap fest, so I completely understand. But I wish that he at least touched on a little about what the feedback that he got was. Like, for example, when he just talked about the 2-hour conversation he had with a player and his girlfriend, who was also a player of Genshin Impact. I would like him to at least touch on a bit of that conversation on what he learned. Obviously, it's 2 hours. I don't want him to literally tell me the 2-hour conversation, but I at least wanted him to touch on some of the points that he really, really took away from that conversation. And hopefully he kind of says something here about when he was talking to his team. I mean, he says here, this is the only thing that will not change when it comes to Genshin Impact being something that a player kind of bonds with. But he says everything else can be changed. What does he mean by that? And let's see.
只有对旅行者的陪伴是唯一不能改变的，其他任何东西都可以改变。 所以今天大家在呐喊站直播看到我们做了很多改变，不管是游戏内容的，还是福利项的，还是各种优化。我们觉得只要旅行者开心就好，我们什么都可以变，因为如果连旅行者都不喜欢原神的，那我们做的所有事情还有什么意义呢？对吧？所以其实今年上半年跟很多的旅行者交流了之后，我们自己受到了很大的鼓舞，我们自己也觉得有了可以继续走下去的勇气和决心。所以今天在我们前瞻直播最后的时候，我站在那个角落，看着所有的旅行者，我还是非常不争气的流眼泪了。我希望
But it's good that he got that kind of response, that kind of emotional feedback, that the reception was positive. The only two criticisms that were coming from the live stream was that it did go a little long. It kind of did feel like a little bit of a yap fest. But also the only other criticism is the one that I already speak of, which is that after 4+4-ish years, they're finally making improvements. And it just shows their complacency. And now hopefully they are turning a two leaf. I mean, as the saying goes, better late than never. So it's better that they finally got their head out of their ass and are finally making improvements, which are good improvements. But I want to know more of what they have planned. What do they have still that they want to improve on is what I'm asking. What do they have planned to improve more other aspects of the game?
希望从今天开始，原神，不管是我们未来的5.0纳塔版本，还是我们的开始，我们希望能够陪伴着旅行者踏遍提瓦特的各个天地啊！我知道未来我们还会有做得不好的地方，我也知道我们到今天为止还不能完全符合旅行者的期待，但是不管是我也好，还是我们项目组也好，经历了过去1年的焦虑和迷茫，我想我们从各位旅行者身上已经收获了足够多的勇气和信心啊！所以从今天开始，从我离开这个舞台，我们希望整个原神项目组，也包括整个原神的旅行者，我们能够轻装上阵，我们能够抛下过去的包袱啊，我们能够全心全意的去为旅行者创造最好的体验。所以在今天 Fest 的最后，我还是想跟现场的所有的旅行者一起喊一下：旅行者们，纳塔见！
But overall, a good speech. I think, though, when he says that they were dealing with a lot of hesitation and anxiety, I honestly think that is his way of saying that they became complacent. But he just doesn't want to say that because it would just come off. It'd come off wrong. You don't want to give the game away. Yeah, I think he's just not wanting to say that they became complacent just because he doesn't want to bury them 6 feet under. It's better to say we were dealing with hesitation and anxiety. But this is it, though. Like I said, it's better late than never. It's good that they were finally getting their head out of their ass and starting to try to innovate with Genshin Impact. Starting to do the improvements that they should have done a long time ago. And hopefully that now that there's competition in the market, it really lights a fire under them. But now that DaWei has done the speech, it sets a precedent. This speech is now out there. This is a speech that everyone can go to now and say, hey, DaWei, you are the CEO. You are the guy that is over all this. If anything happens with Genshin Impact where people start seeing that it's becoming complacent again, if they're not doing the improvements or optimizations that are coming from player feedback, everyone can go back to this speech and say, hey, DaWei, what happened? So that is the thing now. This speech, if people just hold Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse accountable, this speech is now here. This speech is out there. People can go to this and say, hey, this is something you said. You said you wanted to take player feedback more seriously. Paraphrasing. Well, what happened? And that is if Genshin Impact becomes complacent again. If they start dealing with hesitation and anxiety. So we'll see. We will definitely see if this speech holds true to its word. We'll see. But with that being said, definitely head down to the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking of the speech. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know if you're taking DaWei for his word. Do you think these are crocodile tears? Do you think that DaWei's just bullshitting us? Or do you think he's being genuine when he says everything he's saying and does want the game to improve? I want to know what you guys are thinking. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll catch you guys later.